cells. Have you heard about these?
What in particular?
Just their susceptibility to destruction, not just mercury but aluminum also, even individually, and that they might be playing a role in autism.
No, I have not. I don't know anything about that. Why don't you tell us about it?
I just learned about it recently too. I guess there's a doctor at Tufts,
Okay.
and he discovered that there's these special cells, a lot of them line up along the blood-brain barrier. They're in all parts of your body. Some people have more than others. There's a condition that he recently had approved, him and some scientists from Harvard, called mastocytosis. But these particular cells are extremely vulnerable to environmental toxins.
Okay.
And when they explode, when they're disrupted, they release RNA. And when the RNA is released, the body attacks it because it thinks it's foreign. Mm-hmm. Because RNA is usually trapped inside the cells, and the body's not used to seeing it on the outside.
Right.
And when this happens, it will literally kill any of the, let's say, neurons or tissue in the area in which the cell destruction is occurring. So if it's in a certain part of the brain, it will kill what is around that. If it's in, musculature, it can kill that. And he's connected these mast cells with all sorts of unusual, like fibromyalgia and stuff like that. Autism is one of the illnesses that he thinks might be related. And I think he has studies that show mercury and a multitude of other environmental contaminants that also can cause these cells to self-destruct. So,
well, no, that's great. I'm glad that these studies are being done, right? But we need more information.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to Boston soon. Maybe the community around there will be more aware.
Yeah.
What I got from this movie was that all the studies that they're using are from epidemiology studies, and that's what I guess is the theme of the CDC.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So that's.
So they're not looking at biological studies. And Thimerosal Let the Science Speak, which is that book out there that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has sort of compiled hundreds of studies together, are biological studies that show the science of the link between neurological damage and thimerosal. That's not what the CDC is looking at. That's not what they're using as the proof that no more science should be done when they're not actually looking at
So when all
science
these,
that everybody thinks they're looking at.
when all these newscasters are they're puppeting the CDC's epidemiology studies, which can reflect
Correct.
whatever they want them to reflect.
Right.
They can manipulate the numbers, however, more so in that type of study.
Exactly.
This
I
is my
mean, Barbara
question.
Loe Fisher has that great comment, like, the cells don't lie, but numbers can. Because
Right,
you can,
but
yeah.
it's more so because you can do it with that type of study, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Have you heard of the rapid prompting method?
I am doing that with her.
Are you?
And yes.
Okay.
I'm doing that, and we've just started 3 months back, and it's amazing to know.
Are you seeing good results?
Oh yeah, she's doing really well with that. She's able to say what she feels and what she
Yeah.
wants, and it's really amazing.
So it is. We're actually staying with a family right now they've been doing it for 2 years. Rapid prompting method. It's Soma.
Oh.
Are you doing it with Soma
Yes,
or
we are.
okay? And she's a woman who has a child with autism, and she developed this learning system that works really well. You could probably explain it better than I would. I'm still learning about it. But we're staying with a family whose son has been doing it for 2 years. When he started doing it, he was at a 2nd grade level. Internally, he was higher. He just couldn't communicate that. So once he was taught this mode of communication, he moved to like 10th grade honors within a few months.
Like it matched
It
up
was
with
that, yeah. He was like, don't please stop reading me books about farm animals. I get what, evaporation was like the first word he spelled, because Soma was talking about the cycles of the
She did
rainwater.
She did the same lesson
Yeah.
with my daughter. We saw her in January for the first time,
Yeah.
And she did the similar lesson. What happens was the rain cycle. That's what she
The rain
did, the
cycle.
water cycle. And my daughter knew so much. And in the school, I homeschool her now.
Mhm.
But in the school, when we pulled her out, they were still doing touch red and touch green.
Yeah.
with her, and I was like,
And they're
"My God,
frustrated."
So she's there.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that RPM really gave me insight on how much he knows and where we can move
that's
forward.
always
Is it a way to
amazing.
is it a way to teach them how to use
So
it?
they have like a letter board, you know, just A, B, C, D.
It's
There's a
stencil,
great
it's
video,
regular stencil.
yeah.
Oh, the alphabet?
Yeah, alphabet stencil.
And they use their hands to
And they just
and they
spell
point
out.
to it. They point to every, like, evaporation. My daughter points
Spell it
to
out.
E, V, A, P.
So she's
O.
typing.
Yeah.
It's pointing. Their motor skills are
Because
not.
this is two.
The perception,
Fine, yeah.
looking straight is much
Yeah.
easier than looking down,
Ah.
typing, and looking up in the screen what word is coming through.
Wow.
So it's the step-by-step process. So first, initially, they start with a stencil, which is at their eye level, where they can spell. Their muscle becomes a
Ah.
memory, so it's easier for them. And slowly,
And someone
you
holds it for them,
I hold
the
it
board.
for her.
So they can use their gross motor skills
Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
instead of their fine.
And
Slowly
eventually
they move to
they
iPad
can
or-
move to the iPad and using a different way to type.
It takes varied amount of time for different kids. Some kids have done it in 6 months, and some kids I know of are still, after 2 years or so, they haven't been able to move to a computer for
Yeah.
communication. So
Mhm.
it's again a very individual thing.